So we're going to start with this Kundalini session by a very familiar movement. So lift and roll the shoulders, turn the head from side to side. Step when you bring your head back to the centre with feet hip width apart. And just sway from side to side, but make it as wide a sway as you would like. And in this Kundalini practice, we are going to stay here for a little bit longer than we normally do. And if you really wanted to know, this is highlighted not only as moving all your energies, but in a Kundalini focus, it massages your bowel. Isn't that nice? So, your digestive system.
Good to know.
Good to know. We tend to not think about those elements or parts of our body. And yes, so, and then a reminder that in the tradition of Tibetan yoga, if you go slightly higher up, wrapping around your shoulders, it has a greater effect, but you'll feel that. So it's up to you. Just do a little swirl from side to side. And then very gently start to slow down your movement. And come to stillness. Come with your feet a little bit closer, still hip width apart. Lift your toes and then place your toes down again and lift and roll the shoulders. So this next movement, just checking in with you, and again, do tell me, we're going to go slowly, but if for some reason you don't like it, then just flag that up. If you want to come down less, then only come to the shins. But we're going to be very gently just lifting the arms, breathing out, softening the elbows, bending the knees, and touching ideally the floor. And then coming up again, rolling up. And we're going to be carrying on doing that a few times. So this gets into the magnetic field. And then a Kundalini practice, you'd be doing this quite quickly. It's believed to strengthen your aura, so again, that connects back to the magnetic field. And remembering yesterday that if lifting your arms straight up doesn't suit you, you've always got the option to go to the side. If you're beginning to get tired, or you're thinking I'm tuning out of that, again, just flag that up. We're not used to doing this quite so much. And then make the next one the last one. Just stretch up, stretch the fingers, and circle the wrists down. Lift and roll the shoulders back and down away from you. And then this is thumbs together. Raise the arms up. You might like to keep them bent. Feet are again hip width apart. And you're just slightly swaying from side to side. So while you do this, I will read to you what this actually does if you're interested, because it adjusts the pelvis and the point of balance, but it doesn't say here, it also comes into an element of Ayurveda medicine, which is anti-pain, and it's diffusing the energy throughout and then you've had enough. Sorry, diffuse the energy. And the previous one that we did warms the spinal fluid and as well. And so then just very gently coming back down to bringing your arms back down to relaxing. And then we take a break by just bringing the palms together, cross one thumb over the other. So women, just trying to think, often cross the left thumb over the right, but whatever you want to do. Fingers up in Venus lock, and then just bring your palms to the heart center and feel that your body is balanced in its posture. So it is a form of Tadasana, or standing posture, mountain pose, but you are lifting the sternum, so you're lifting the heart center. So it's very much anti-depression. And then release the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. You can take that same class, but it's optional. Feet hip width apart. And again, for here, are modified by bending your knees, and you don't have to come down to the ground. And again, we're not used to doing this, so if you want to stop at any point, please do. So raising the arms up, lean over to the left, soften your knees, and touch your fingers, your index fingers, to the floor. If that's too low, then touch them, just connect to your shins. Breathing in, stand up, circle the arms over to the right, soften the knees, and just come down to touching the fingers to wherever, ideally to the floor. Coming up to the center, and doing this a few times. I think I'm always surprised when I do this you think you've kept your fitness up, but just sometimes this, I think, exposes areas that you've not worked for a while. So the lateral stretch is obviously very helpful for the intercostal muscles. And then perhaps make the next one the last one. Coming up and lowering the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. And opening the arms out, just hug one way. Open the arms out and hug the other way. Open the arms out. Lift and roll the shoulders. This is again odd, you've not done this for a while. Thumbs up, I'm not sure you've done this at all. No. And breathing in and out, sniffing the air in through the nose. Feel that you're relaxing the neck. Breathe in, hold the breath, thumbs together. Breathing out, lower the arms. The movement that we've done has created sort of movement of toxins within the system, and that clears that out. But then again, I think it's quite a strange breath. It's called breath of fire, and you'll find that a lot in this style of yoga. So then just very gently turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, and again head to the left and head to the right. Come to the centre, and then chin to chest, and like a pencil at the end of either your nose or the chin, roll the chin up to the right shoulder. Roll the chin down. If you went the other way, it doesn't matter. And then roll the chin up to the left. Like a pendulum, roll it to the centre, up to the right. Roll it down and up to the left. Down through the centre and to the right. Down through the centre and to the left. And then bring your head to the centre and very slightly lift the chin up, lift the chin down. Just do that a couple of times. Chin lifts slightly up, eyes go up, breathing out, chin down. Breathing in, up, and breathing out, down. Come to the centre. Breathing into the left, breathing out to the right. Into the left, and then out to the right. And into the left, and out to the right. And come to the centre. Lift and roll the shoulders. This next exercise stretches across the chest, and it's quite good for the heart. It's also good for the bust muscles, but anyway. So stepping out, your right foot is slightly towards the edge of the mat. The left foot is sort of at a 45 degree angle. You can make the step longer or shorter. And in your mind, you're pulling a bow, so your right hand goes out in front of you, and your left hand almost clasps like a fist and pulls back, and you'll feel the stretch. Turn to look as if you're aiming, and feel the stretch across the chest. Then lift the right arm up, look up with the right thumb, open both arms, and then just lower the arms back down again. Lift and roll the shoulders.
It's a wonderful exercise. And actually doing the bow and arrow, because I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love it.
Brilliant.
Sorry.
So bring your feet to the centre, and then turn your right foot in slightly and your left foot out. And again, just imagine you're drawing a bow, so this time your left hand goes forward and you are with your right hand. You don't have to make a fist, but you can also make a fist. And almost just have a sense, you can soften your front left knee, but have a sense of really pulling across the chest. Your right elbow is high, it's not dropping down. Just take an in and an out breath. It's a really firming warrior pose. You're in your core for your immune system without really realising it. And then lift your left arm up, looking at the left thumb. Open both arms out. And then just release the arms back down and bring your feet still apart like an A. And this is a yogic movement, but it also, I find it quite useful to think of belly dancing, of Jules, if we remember Jules. So just very slowly, you're bringing your, just bring your feet to where they're comfortable, your hips to the left, circle your bottom to the right, and stand up. So you're circling your hips, left, circle, you can feel the tummy engage, the abdominal muscles to the right, and stand up. So you're circling, left, circle, bend the knees, and up. So this is, again, and you can have your feet closer together, beginning that circle, and it's very good for the lower abdominal organs. And it is one of the opening sequences, as Carol knows, for belly dancing.
Oh, I remember it well.
You remember it well. I'm not a belly dancer, in fact I'm reasonably useless, but a yoga friend, Jules, has done some belly dancing workshops here. And they're quite interesting.
We should do it again, actually.
I will ask her to do it again.
Is it complicated?
Sorry?
Is it complicated?
No, it's very simple. And then circle the other way. Yes. Well, we've got supplied by Janet the belts that you tie around. You wear normal clothes and you just have a jingle. So the more you move, the more you jingle. And it's the other thing that she had that I quite like were the veils. And you just swirled round, but it was moving your shoulders in a very lovely way as you swirled your veil around. And then just very gently come to the centre. And bring your feet a little bit closer together. Lift and roll the shoulders. So this next one sets up a vibration in the feet. It's meant to be focused on the thymus gland, just above the heart. But this is walking on the spot. So however you want to do it, a little bit or a lot, you'll feel the vibration in your feet. And it's boosting your immune system in a way because it is creating movement vibration from the feet to the head. And it's a controlled vibration. I think when you run on the pavement with running, it can be quite harsh on the heels, but this is quite a gentle vibration. And if ever you wanted, nobody teaches here, but if ever you wanted children to be quiet, then asking them to do this will get rid of their excess energy, or maybe your grandchildren. It will get rid of excess energy, and it gets them in a different zone to get their attention, and then just start to slow down.
That really gets your heart
going,
big.
and just release and relax. So, as the next exercise, you have full permission not to engage in. It's brilliant for raising the energy. However, you'll see when I do it that you might think, oh no, I really don't want to do that, in which case don't go down so low. So feet a little bit apart. You bend your knees to just touch the ground. Now then you can stay up. If you're being really into it, you would really get down. But just head lowers and come up to standing. So now you keep your fingers on the ground all the time. Bend your knees, lower your head. I apologise. So bend your knees, look up. Breathe out, stand up, look down.
Oh my God, yes.
Bend your knees, slightly look up, not a lot. Breathe out, look down. And just do this in your own breath pattern. You decide how much you want to come up and down. The full movement is right down and right up, but that's too tough on the knees, I think. And it's quite, again, I find quite a reality check, because I realise I think I'm fit, but I just realise just how much I'm not when you do this. You're meant to do it very quickly, quite a few times, but I would say from the huffing and puffing that we might like to make the next one the last one and then roll up again. So if you want to know what the yogic thought is that it raises the energy level, literally gets rid of energy, so it's very rejuvenating. That is the basis behind it. And you would do it lots of times and very fast if you were in your early 20s. None of us are. Come to, the body now needs to rest, so come to lie with your knees bent on the floor before we go on to the next part, which is Kriyas. Kriya is a cleansing action. And so knees bent on the floor, you might need a recovery time. Palms either hands down on the floor or resting on the abdomen. And then just very gently sway the knees from side to side. The hips lift slightly off the ground as you're swaying. And then you can begin to bring the head into the movement, and you can either move the head in the same direction as the knees, or you can move the head away from the direction of the knees. Yogically, you're meant to move the head away from the direction of the knees. And then just stay still, knees up to the ceiling. Perhaps rest the hands on the abdomen and tune into the breath. We've created energy movement within the body, and as a result of that, to fully benefit from the movement, just resting for a few breaths gives the body a chance to process everything that's been activated. Just very gently roll the head from side to side. And then hugging one knee and then the other knee into the chest. Just rock gently from side to side. And then circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the other direction. And then hug both knees into the chest, still holding them, let them drift to arm's length, and do that a couple of times. The hands on the floor where you are standing up and sitting down again is called a frog pose. And so this is quite a nice balancer just to release all the energies. And then very gently, we're going to come to roll onto the side and come to a seated position. Charlotte is brilliant at chanting, I'm not. Ooh. Hi Patsy, I think it's Patsy. Yes, there she is.
Hi, Patsy.
So does that mean that Pat's gone? I'm not sure.
Hi, I was on mute.
Yeah, well, that's right. We're enjoying your babies. They're little they're little chirruping. No, they're very cute.
Oh, lovely.
So they get a very healthy diet, fresh fruit and spinach, and
Oh, wow,
yeah,
gosh.
she really, really spoils them.
Oh,
So I can't chant, but it is breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, you'd say sat, num. So I'm not great. So breathing in sat, breathing out sat, num. And that concludes that part. So very, very gently, just a couple of cat-cows sitting up. I'm holding my knees or just below, breathing out chin to chest. Just walking or warming up through the spine, breathing in, breathing out. And then just come to stillness. And we're going to come very briefly to standing. And this is a Kriya action. So Kriya in yoga is a cleansing action. And the very action of lifting your arms and lifting your head, chin slightly up disconnects the mind from the stress centres of the brain. And so it's said that if you, we're not going to do this 49 times, by the way, we'll do it 5 times. It's said that if you did this 49 times for something like a month, you would completely reset everything in your psyche. However, we're just going to do it as a very brief mindfulness exercise. However you have your hands, whether they're together, whether they're Venus lock, whether they're whatever you want to do is up to you. So breathing in, hands up, breathing out, bring the hands back to the heart, chin to chest. Breathing in, hands up and away, breathing out, chin to chest. You can opt to not straighten your arms if you don't want to. Breathing in. You're lifting your chest, lifting your chin slightly, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, and breathing out. And make this the last one, breathing in. Release the arms. We're going to come back down to sitting, and you've got a choice. You can either kneel up high, which I quite like, or you can come seated. We're going to be turning the head to look over the shoulder and backwards. I like the kneeling up because it gives me more length in my body, and there's a choice. So you can come seated or kneeling up. But you're kneeling high, you're not crouching down, so you're kneeling high. Now, if that is, goodness, I can't cope with that, then come just to a normal seated position. If you want a blanket, say, and if you're thinking, no, I'm going to give up on this, come to a seated position. So, hands out, again, you've got the option. I look like a vampire, don't I? You can bring your elbows in if that's hurting. I'm going to keep mine out. Breathing in to the left, breathing out to the right. In left, out right. Feel that you can drop your arms at any point. And if you're really feeling it, you can put your hands on your waist. It's to enjoy the side-to-side movement. Breathing in, breathing out. In your own time. Into the left, out, right. Drop your hands at any point. This also connects to moving the balancing the brain hemispheres and fortifying the neural pathways, because communication between the hemispheres is increased. Again, it becomes a mindfulness exercise because it's hard to think of anything while you're doing this. And then come to the centre, drop your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. And for this one, we'll perhaps come to a seated position, give ourselves a slight rest. And you can sit on your bolster, however you want. And this time, we shrug our shoulders on my back, one at a time. So start perhaps with the left, just lift and drop the left shoulder, lift and drop the right. And again, your own time. It's not correlating with your breath, or it can do, just lifting and dropping. You're almost, you shake your hands out or shake your feet out, you're shaking your shoulders out. There's no right or wrong. It's really just going through the shoulders and the neck. As you just shrug and drop your shoulder, you can feel that in the head, or I can anyway. And then just both shoulders up, both shoulders down. So this next one, the invitation is to stay where you are or to kneel up again. It's breath of fire. I like to kneel up. It gives me, again, more leverage, but again, it's your choice. And if you really want to, you can stand up as well. But it is a few breath of fires. So again, for me here, I like to hold my thumbs, my hands out, and just sniff the air in and out, your own time. Make the next couple of last ones, and then just drop your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then clasp behind your hands behind the back, and it's almost the same. Your thumb over the thumbs at your Venus lock and your fingers away. I find that quite difficult to open the shoulders like that. I don't know if you can see me. I find that really difficult. It really pulls on my shoulders. So whatever works for you. And if you don't like that, you could just rest your hands on your waist again. And again, breath of fire. Then come to slowing and come to stop. And then come to a seated position, however you want. I'm going to come to cross-legged. However you want to sit. That breath of fire, and it's a Kriya, it kind of works on the brain. It's quite interesting. It just kind of dissolves your thought process. So to make that thought process even greater, Guyana Mudra is thumb to second finger. Hopefully you can see the second finger is under the, yes, does that make sense? Can you see? The index finger under the thumb, and then resting on your knees. So Guyana Mudra can be hands down or hands up. I prefer hands down because I feel I can hold my back. In yoga, hands down is a gesture of knowledge. Hands up is gesture of receiving, so whatever you want to do. And then breathing in, turn to the left. Your own breath, breathing out, turn to the right. And just repeat this a few times in your own breath pattern. We're doing a sample of everything. Everything in Kundalini is about 50 times, mostly, which can be quite a lot. So if you wanted to know, this comes back to a mindfulness exercise. Hard to retain stress when your eye focus is moving. You can keep your eyes closed too. Your thyroid and parathyroid glands and the side-to-side movement are being balanced, and that's part of your metabolic process, or glandular or endocrine system. The hemispheres of the brain are balancing, and again the neural pathways are being asked to connect. You can't hold stress when you're doing this. And you're coordinating your movement with your breath, so it's becoming, as I said, almost like a moving meditation. Coming back to the mindfulness again. And how much you move your head's up to you. It can be a little bit or it can be a lot. So I was thinking about anyone who's dizzy, really minimal movement off the centre, but it sounds as if things are going very well there, so who knows? And then just very gently come to the centre and just let that movement settle down. All the diseases of the head, I mean, it sounds very simplistic in yoga, are classified by energy not getting through to the head. So all the dementias and all Parkinson's, for instance, are energy being blocked that's not got through, and we do that by tension and holding our neck forward, not allowing the energy to travel up. There are little tricks that you can do to enhance that, like smiling, opens the pathways at the back of the energetic pathway. So just, if you breathe normally, mouth closed, and then consciously smile by lifting the corners of the mouth and see if the breath goes differently. It opens to me the back of the throat and it goes energy, you've got meridian energy paths running to the back of the nose, and that just opens that connection up. And then just stretching out from that, have your legs out in front of you. Just bounce them. Just toes up and down a couple of times, maybe circle them a couple of times. If you're being very correct, you'll have your hands, nails pointing forward, but actually here you can be very relaxed. It's just a stretch at the front. So you're lifting your chest, you're slightly lifting your chin, and you're slightly looking up with your eyes. The shoulders are back. It's just a counterpose to the sitting that we've done. Before we go to the next slightly weird exercise. And that is coming to kneeling again. If you don't want to kneel, that's fine. I'll show you, and then you can decide what you want to do. So you cross your thumbs again, you can have your Venus lock, and you're just breathing in and out. You're going over the magnetic field of your aura. I would say breathe however it suits you. It's strangely cathartic. You'll notice that I'm bending my elbows because I'm slightly restricting my shoulders. So breathing however you want. I say that because I think you're supposed to breathe the opposite. I'm breathing in as I'm going this way, and I think we're supposed to do it the opposite way around.
Breathe out.
So just breathe how you want to. And your elbows bent so that you're not cricking your head forward. Again, it's a very weird exercise, but it's believed to just over the crown of the head is where we receive messages and every stuff from the outside world. So it's again just a cleansing auric process, but not to make your arms ache. So just make the next one the last. Just release, come back to a seated position when you're ready. Sitting either with feet out. I'm going to come to a cross-legged position, back to a Guyana Mudra of choice. And this is a Metabolic Rebalancer. So the chant is optional, and it's connecting to the circle of life. So Sa, Ta, Na, Ma is birth, life, death, and rebirth. You Sa, Ta, Na, and then Na and Ma. It's optional or not. I mean, counting, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not quite the same, or just mentally. You can say it aloud or not at all. So it would be Sa as you slightly lift your chin, and Ta as you slightly lower your chin. Na as you go to the left, that's death, and Ma, M-A, to the right, rebirth. Sa, slightly up, Ta, down, Na, to the left, and Ma, to the right. Sa, up, Ta, down, Na, Ma. Sa, up, Ta, down, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, 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 Na, Ma. Make the chant softer. Ta, Na, Sa, Ta, Na, and then silently in your minds. And come to stillness. Just subtly drop the chin to the chest. Nothing for you to do. You might like to have a thought for the day, wishing something for yourself or someone close to you. And then let that thought go. And then just bring the fingertips together, Hakini Mudra. Each finger links to an organ, each finger links to a planet. And all I can remember is that I think the third finger is Mars, the little finger is Mercury, of communication. Possibly the fourth finger could be Venus, and maybe, and then I lose it, I have to look it up. But anyway, just drop your chin to your chest. Thank you for joining me today, and I will get